and to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up. And throughout the world today.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being with me. You can get involved by calling 888-77 53773 888-77 Jesse Jesse Jesse. My biblical question for this week, the biblical question: have you ever and can you ever solve a non-practical problem by thinking about it? Have you ever and can you ever solve a non-practical problem by thinking about it? Amazing question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And you can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Anywhere in the world, the whole wide world, the whole round world for the people who know that the world is round, and for the whole flat world for the people who think the world is flat. Amazing, huh? So we help everybody. And don't forget to follow us on Rumble. You got to know how to rumble.com and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Follow, ring the bell, subscribe, tell a friend, telegraph, tell a woman, get the word out. It's amazing. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, buymeacoffee.com/JLP talk, and Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. Amazing. Amazing. Manhood hour is coming up in the third hour today. Manhood Hour every Wednesday in third hour of the show. Things have hell on earth is apparent. It is crazy to see it too. In that it's on earth. Hell is on earth. Most people waited to see if they're going to go to heaven or hell. You don't have to wait to see it. You can look at yourself and you will know right away if you are in hell already or in heaven. It's right here. The heaven is inside and the hell is inside, but outside and you're inside of others. Things have changed since April 1, 2011. Things have changed. I remember when I first started my nonprofit organization, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny, 33 years ago, I believe now. And at that time, there was a report out, and I don't remember where it was from or anything. I do remember the report somewhat. It says that of the blacks, what's wrong with the blacks? Of the blacks that was employed, that 80% of them were employed by the government. That was 30-something years ago. Can you imagine that? Of the blacks that were employed, 80% of them were employed by the government, meaning that they didn't have it in them to work for private businesses, to build on their own, to do for themselves. And back then I thought, wow, that's stunning that human beings can sink so low in life that they truly give up on themselves. And the reason I say give up, because prior to the civil rights movement, which was the worst thing that happened to the blacks, other than abortion itself, prior to that, black people were more independent. They didn't work for the government, for the most part. They worked and did for themselves. They had jobs, of course, with private businesses, and they made good money. And they worked for themselves. They lived on the farm. They did everything for themselves. And they were not whining, begging, and blaming, and wanting America to lower her standards just to let them in because they were black and incapable. That mentality wasn't there. It only happened, that I'm aware of, it only happened when the civil rights movement happened, and they convinced the blacks, not all but most, because the older blacks were not for the civil rights movement for the most part. But they convinced the blacks that they were being discriminated against because of their color, and that the white man was so smart that he was holding them back, and they just couldn't make it. And so they told the blacks, let us be your leaders, the so-called civil rights movement, Martin Luther King and all those people. Let us be your leaders, Jesse Jackson and all them. And then blacks said, okay. And then they told the blacks, we're going to sell you over to the Democratic Party. They didn't tell them in that way, but they did when the Democratic Party decided that they were going to take care of the blacks by giving them money and stuff, food stamps, and allow the civil rights leader to become the leader of the blacks, telling them how to vote, when to vote, who to vote for, to stay on the plantation of the Democratic Party. And it's just been downhill. Can you imagine? Think about that. Of a group of people in the same so-called culture, 80% of them left, they went and worked for the government. They left the farmland and they surrendered to their outer leaders. And it's just been downhill ever since. Look at the blacks. It ain't getting better. Some black men and women are getting better, but most are not. They're just going to have to disappear out. They are loving their hell on earth. They love it. And you can't take it away. You can't even suggest to them that they can have heaven on earth. They can have paradise right here. They love their hell. They've been trained generation after generation after generation after generation. So you can't convince a person that they have believed into a lie. They have to want to see it, and seeing it will cause them to overcome it. But 80%, they left the farmlands and places like that, and they went to the big cities, and they put them in the projects because their leader was living high on the hog, and they told the black, now, y'all know y'all ain't going to be able to make it. And so hide your husband, hide your boyfriend, and just have babies. We're going to keep you on the welfare. The more babies you have, the more money you're going to get. And then we're going to make the black woman feel that she doesn't need you because the government will take care of the black woman and the children, and you too, but don't let the government know about it. And they fell for it. And look what they have now. In 2023, not all, but the blacks are totally destructive. Nothing but destruction. And not all, but most. Can you imagine 80% of the blacks back then were working for the government? That means the men and the women. I remember when I moved out here to Los Angeles, after a while, a bunch of my friends were working for the government, and they were telling me, I was in my 20s, and they were telling me how easy it was to work for the government, that you get a lot of time off, you get a lot of vacation time, you get good money, and you don't have to work that hard. You really sit around all day and do little or nothing. And it sounded so attractive then. And I tried to get a government job, but I couldn't pass the civil service test. I'm like, what the? So I was forced to continue to take care of myself. Thank God he was with me and I didn't know it. According to the Wall Street Journal, we'll become a nation of takers. The Lord knows that's true. We have become a nation of takers. Not makers, but takers. Are you a taker or a maker? I remember when the blacks used to be makers. But there's no sign of that anymore. According to the Wall Street Journal, we'll become a nation of takers, not makers. Today in America, there are nearly twice as many people working for the government. Today in America, where you're supposed to be free to do whatever you want, have a business if you want, work for a private company if you want, buy yourself a house if you want, be independent if you want. Today in America, there are nearly twice as many people working for the government, 22.5 million people working for the government, because the government job is a lazy man's job. It requires no thinking, no nothing. Just show up if you want to. You still get paid. 22.5 million are working for the government in America. Then all of manufacturing. Today in America, there are nearly twice as many people working for the government, 22.5 million. Then in all of manufacturing, 11.5 million. 22.5 work for the government. In manufacturing, 11.5 work. There is an almost exact reverse reversal of the situation in 1960, when there were 15 million workers in manufacturing and 8.7 million collecting a paycheck from the government. In 1960, there was 15 million in manufacturing working. 8.7 million collected a paycheck from the government. What happened? Oh, I know. They destroyed the men and they sucked the women in by the government and the weak men, mama's boys. And once you get a government job, it's hard to let those jobs go because it spoils you. You just end up doing nothing, little or nothing, and you pay you well, and you just don't have the energy to do anything else because your energy is drained. Amazing, huh? Earlier than that, most people lived on the farm. I think my producer would tell me 3 out of 4 people lived on the farm. 3 out of 4 lived on the farm. See it for yourself, you can be protected from it. You'll be fine. You will be fine. Things have changed in America. Things have changed, and it's only gonna get worse. Only gonna get worse. And you ask, what are they up to nowadays? I got proof. It's only going to get worse. You're pushing anger as love. You're pushing the destruction of the family by getting rid of the men and pushing the woman forward, meaning that you're pushing hell to the forefront on earth. The hell comes through the woman. The gates of hell come through the woman. So you ask, what are they up to nowadays? This is from the Hill. Senator Mullin, a Republican from Oklahoma, challenged the president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters to a fight for charity, reigniting the animosity between them that was on full display during a viral moment at a Senate hearing in March. Watch this from ABC.
Tweeted at me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And greedy CEO who pretends like he's self-made. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy. If you want to run your mouth, we can be 2 consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution every
Hold it. No, sit down. Sit down. Okay. You're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
You said anytime, any place.
What's your question?
Accept the challenge.
What challenge?
You said anytime, any place. I'm accepting yours, so why don't you come
What
back?
challenge? What challenge are you talking
April
about?
30th. How about we do it for a charity at the Smoking Guns in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
We're not going to be
what was the
talking about
challenge?
physical confrontations here.
You want to fight me?
What'd you say about anytime, any place?
Amazing, huh? And then charging you up the yang with taxes so that they can fight. 2 beta males, emotional like a woman. Just like their mama. the senator from Oklahoma upset because some dumb teacher union guy tweeted something about him online. And he's not a better man for it. can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. All right, welcome back. The problem is solved temporarily, so we'll just take the show on temporarily as it's happening, all right? 888-7753-773, 888-77 Jesse. Let's go to, let's see here. Abel, a first-time caller out of Canada. Abel, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how are you?
All is well, sir. Thanks for asking.
No problem. So I just wanted to ask you two questions, and I wanted to ask you, how do I seek the kingdom of heaven, and how do I deal with my parents in the right way if they love their health?
When you seek the kingdom by looking within, paying attention to the thoughts and feelings that are happening, the war that's happening inside of your mind and emotions, and all you have to do is watch it and stop identifying with it, and that's the hell that is happening. All thoughts are all lies all the time, so are emotions. So if you could just pay attention to that and do nothing about it, don't identify with it, don't call it good or bad, and let it die, and then heaven will appear, and within you, you will have peace on earth, perfect peace. You will deal with everything in the right way. Inwardly, you'll be fine. And as far as dealing with your family, your parents and things, once you clearly understand what's driving you, that it's not you, but something else is making you think and feel a certain way, you will understand them, so you will be able to speak up, but you wouldn't be angry at them. You would never get angry because you understand that it's not them.
All right.
But you will be able to speak up for yourself. How old are you?
I'm 14.
You're 14?
Yeah.
And you live with both parents?
Yeah, I live with both of them. Yeah.
Go ahead. What?
But my parents had some rough time in their relationship. I have half siblings and stuff like that.
And how does that affect you?
I don't know. It just feels weird, because I never got to meet my real father, and I feel like a lot of resentment I have for my mom comes from that.
Yeah.
Even though she made the decisions for my benefit, or at least she says so. But sometimes she does it with emotion, right?
Yeah. You said she got rid of your father for your benefit?
No, see, he's a soldier, and he couldn't leave the country because if he did and he got caught, there would be consequences.
Oh, I see. And are you able to communicate with him now?
I'm planning to go see him. I can't really call him right now.
Okay. But at what point do you plan to go see him?
This year, hopefully.
Good. And so right now, while living with your mother, she's saying she's making decisions on your behalf to benefit you?
Yeah.
Can you give me an example of what she mean by that?
Well, let's say I want to go out a certain time to go to the gym or something. She'll tell me I have to be home by a certain time, and I tell her, hey, that's not giving me enough time to work out, eat or whatever, and then get back home. She won't be as much as understanding, and she'll treat me as a child, even though I'm grown up now. I'm not a baby anymore.
And when you tell her that, what does she say?
She still treats me like a child.
And do you get angry about it?
I do, but I try not to.
Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
I was off and on with it, so I just started doing it again.
Yeah, I want to recommend that you start doing it every morning, every night. And I promise you, whatever your outer situation is, it's going to work out. It'll work itself. Things will change for the good. But because when you get angry about it, you get lost in thoughts. And the thoughts are all evil, and they will make you do things or act out in a way that will only imprison you. It wouldn't help you, it'll hurt you. But if you stay away from the thoughts, you'll be able to deal with your mother and everybody in a perfect way, and you'll be fine. But you got to stay away from the anger and the thoughts, because the thoughts and the anger are not you at all. It just feels like it's you, but it's not.
Is it possible to live without them?
100%.
Okay.
You were not created by God to live with thoughts. And that's why he said, bring them all into captivity. All thoughts are, except for practical thought, like you want to go to the gym and you're going to work out for an hour and a half to 2 hours. Those are practical thoughts. And you don't live by those thoughts, because once you do the gym, you're done with the gym, right? For now.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to think about that. But when you focus on the way your mother's treating you, or the way someone else is treating you, or in your thoughts about your feelings and all that, those are the things, those are examples of things you have to let pass.
Okay. All right, Jesse.
And so your stepfather lived there?
Yeah.
And when you tell him to help you deal with your mother, when you ask him to help you deal with your mother, what does he say?
Well, he tells me to look at her perspective because, he didn't necessarily have a mother in his life, so he thinks I'm taking her for granted.
What does that mean?
Like he didn't have a mother, and he thinks I'm being mean to my mom for resenting her.
No, you're being mean to yourself or resenting, because you're keeping yourself in darkness. It's hurting you more than it hurting your mother.
Yeah.
So I want you to learn to speak up, but stay away from anger, and you'll start to see things will work out for you. It will change for you without your help. Everything will get better and clear.
All right. Thank you so much, Jesse.
Yeah, stay away from anger. Do the silent prayer. I don't care what happens. Do the silent prayer every morning, every night. And during the day when you're caught up in your mind, you're young, when you're caught up in thoughts, just bring your mind back to your body.
All right, Jesse.
Let me know how that goes.
I will. Take care, man.
You too, buddy. It's the same spirit everywhere. 888-7753-773. Let me go to the first time call out of Louisiana. There's one line open. Jeff out of Louisiana. Jeff, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, Jesse? You can hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right, you can hear me loud and clear?
Loud and clear.
All right, first off, I just want to say thank you. You've helped me through a lot. You've done a lot. You've got me a lot of inspiration watching your videos. But I just wanted to come on here and ask you about, basically, for 3 years now, me and my dad have been living on our own since like March 2020, because in August 2019, my mom and sister, well, my sister was on drugs before during the summer. She kind of went off the deep end, and then it's a long story, but then my mom and her started doing drugs, and we didn't know. And then we moved out, and then come to find out like a year later, they were doing drugs together. And, ever since then, I kind of figured by now they'd get clean, but it doesn't look that way, and it doesn't seem like my mom wants to get clean, and my sister for sure not. And I just want to know, like, what do you think I should do as, like, the steps as far as, like, forgiveness and stuff? Because I try to forgive them. I don't want to hold, I don't want to be angry for my whole life if they don't get clean. Obviously, I hope that they get clean, but, they're out living in the streets, and it's just me and my dad now.
How old are you?
Me, I'm 17.
Oh, okay. And you want to know what's the question again?
Like, what do you think I should do as far as, like, not living with, like, hatred, resentment my whole life if they don't get clean? Like, if they don't get sober? Because I don't want to live like this forever. I don't have a lot of hatred in my heart, and I try to, do the best I can. but at times it just seems like my mom is just like so hateful towards me, or just so, like she acts as if I don't want to see her and I don't love her, but really it just hurts me a lot just to see her like that.
Oh, okay.
That she comes. Yeah.
Here's what I highly recommend if you want to be free, because you are responsible for you and you only. You're not responsible for your mama. You're not responsible for your sister. You're not responsible for your daddy. You're not responsible for your friends or anyone. I would wish them well and let them stay in their hell and live my life. Because you shouldn't be feeling one iota of a thing about your mother and your sister or anyone else being on drugs or living in their hell, because people honestly live in their hell because they love their hell. They love the feelings they get, whether it's so-called anger or so-called feel-good feelings. They love the thrill of their hell. And if you try to get involved to help them overcome it, they will destroy you, because you're trying to bring them out of something that they want to be in. And even if they're complaining about it, all the reason they're complaining about their hell is because they get another thrill from it. They even love complaining about it. So I would recommend, highly recommend, Jeff, that you don't hold it personal. Forgive them, meaning don't resent them for it. And you work on you and live your life.
What do I do if it feels like they won't let me forgive them? I was on the phone with my mom. Sorry if I sound stuffed up. I'm sick right now. But I was on the phone with my mom the other day, and she was we were arguing, but I tried to tell her that, I didn't want things to be like this forever, that I wanted to forgive her, even if she won't get clean. And she was kind of angry, and she basically told me, can I swear on you? I don't want to say it.
Yeah,
Am I allowed to say the F word?
Yeah, this one time. Go ahead.
She basically said, fuck you, before I could, finish my sentence, because she was mad about something else.
Yeah.
That really hurt me, Jesse. I'm not going to lie.
Why were you hurt?
It's hard because I told her, I said, that we're done. I mean, I told her I forgive her for what she's done. I try my best, but I can't be with her. I can't have her in my life. She's to be like that because, they won't get clean. My sister, she kind of does her own thing. It's sad, but, my mom's sometimes we tried to let her come stay at the house to get clean because she doesn't want to go to rehab, and that didn't work out. So now she's just back on the street.
How old is your sister?
My sister is 23.
Oh, okay. Jeff, stop talking to your mother. The hell in your mother want to destroy you. And that's why she see that you're trying to get along with her. She see that you want her, you love her. You're only 17 or however old you say. You're a kid. But the hell in her see that as a weakness. It sees it as life, and it is trying to destroy that life in you. I would highly recommend you dump her. Don't even talk to her because she will destroy you.
All right.
You don't owe her anything. Just inwardly, don't be angry at her. She can't help it because she wants to be that way. That's why God lead people in their hell, because they don't. He's made the way for all to overcome, but they don't want to overcome. And so if you keep imposing on her, she's going to cuss you out. She's going to try to make you feel guilty. She's going to do whatever she can to destroy you so she can feel alive. She get a false sense of life. I would highly recommend you don't talk to her anything, because she will destroy you.
Yeah, what's it called? I try, I don't talk to her, but she keeps calling me, and she'll show up at our house sometimes. And we've had to call the cops a few times because she was freaking out. But now sometimes she just shows up and sits on the front doorstep. And, it hurts because, on one hand, she's on drugs. And I have so much, anger against her. But then on the other hand, it's still my mom. And, I don't want, I guess my big fear is that she's going to, overdose,
That's
or something.
fine.
I'm never going to get to properly say goodbye.
If she does overdose, that's on her. It has nothing to do with your life. If she shows up to your door, have the police come and get her, block her on your phone so she can't harass you on your phone. You got to pull away, Jeff, or she will destroy you. You are not responsible for your mother. You're not your mama. Your mama's not you. You're responsible for Jeff. And this woman will destroy you because she knows that you're weak and that you're weak emotionally and that you're trying to get her to be your mama. And the more you try to get her to be your mother, the more she will destroy you. You're just opening yourself up to be destroyed. Your mother has no love. She doesn't love herself. She doesn't love you. She loves no one. She only has hate.
Yeah.
And don't let the devil tell you, oh, that's your mother. Love your mother. You need to do. Suppose your mother die and you won't be there to say goodbye. You don't need to be there to say goodbye. That's on her. So don't let the devil tell you all that crazy stuff to keep you and your mama in your mother's hell. You got to live your life, man. Let her go.
Yeah, what's it called? I guess it just hurts so much because for so long it was fine, It's just the family and everything was good, but now it's just like everything just flipped upside down. And what's it called? Now it's like just me and my dad living on our own.
Nice.
And we did that. We basically shut them two out. We live our own life now.
Well, keep them out.
It's still just like, what do I do about the pain? Like,
let the pain pass. Let the pain pass. Let the sadness and the pain pass. It's all ego. It's of the devil. It's not of you. Let it pass. Because the pain would cause you to allow yourself to be destroyed by your mother. The pain is...
that's my biggest fear, I think, is just living a life where I'm...
Hold on. Back in a moment. I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Wednesday, November 15th, 2023 AD. Women's Forum is tomorrow, third Thursday of the month. The 16th of November, 7 p.m. at Bond in Los Angeles. Rebuildingtheman.com/events. There is one line open. You can call in to get on hold, to get on air with JLP. And he will get back to you guys. But first, Hake news, not fake news. The Weak United House, whatever yesterday was, Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, and the far-left female-run outlet, The Skim, report the House isn't shutting down the government. Weak. Yesterday, most Democrats joined House Speaker Mike Johnson, the Christian Republican from Louisiana, to pass a bill, a funding bill. They went the bipartisan evil route, just like ousted Speaker in name only Kevin McCarthy. Democrat preferred funding levels a la Nancy Pelosi. Notably, the bill does not include additional aid for Israel or Ukraine. But the House Freedom Caucus, including Representative Matt Gaetz, Republican from Florida, said it gave not a single meaningful win for the American people. Not enough budget cuts, nor money for border security. At least not enough. But they're holding back from ousting weak Mike Johnson so far. Yesterday, Representative Tim Burchett, Republican from Tennessee, part of the House Freedom Caucus, accused Kevin McCarthy, the former speaker, of intentionally elbowing him in the hallway. McCarthy reportedly said if I'd kidney punched him, he'd be on the ground. Tough guy. Gaetz called for an ethics investigation. And by the way, puffed up chests, as you heard earlier this hour, CNN reports, the far-left females at the Skim report, during a Senate hearing about unions, Senator Mark Wayne, all one word, Mark Wayne Mullin, Republican from Oklahoma, a former MMA fighter, offered to enter the ring with the president of the Teamsters Union, Socialist Teamsters Union, Sean O'Brien. Irish? Mullin confronted O'Brien over tweets calling the senator a greedy CEO, quit the tough guy act, hashtag little man syndrome. Mullin told O'Brien, you want to run your mouth? We can be two consenting adults, as you heard earlier this hour. We can finish it here. Mullin then told him, stand your butt up. Before 82-year-old socialist, atheist, unchristian Senator Bernie Sanders, independent from Vermont, fake independent, broke it up by telling him sit down and calling him a U.S. senator. How embarrassing. The D.C. had a march for Israel. Thousands of Jews and allies of the Jewish community, according to Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, gathered Tuesday at the March for Israel rally in Washington, D.C. The march is believed to be the largest pro-Israel gathering in the United States since the start of the Israel-Hamas war. Demonstrators denounced so-called anti-Semitism, all one word, no hyphen, and many speakers expressed sympathy for innocent Palestinians suffering during the conflict. The simple human truth is that you don't have to choose. You can abhor the suffering of Palestinian families and the suffering of Israeli families like mine, said Alana Zaitchik, adding that 6 members of her family remain held hostage by Hamas. Also on Tuesday, so-called President Sleepy Joe Biden, Crooked Joe Biden, said a deal to free some 200 hostages is, quote, going to happen, unquote, as officials say they are nearing an agreement. There was a bus crash in Ohio, a charter bus, according to CNN, carrying students to a band performance, was involved in a fatal crash Tuesday. Interstate 70 in central Ohio. 6 people were killed, 3 teenage students, 2 parent chaperones, and a teacher in an SUV, officials said. The students who died were bright lights, full of life, who lost their lives way too young, said Derek Veransky, superintendent of the Tuscarawas Valley Local School District. He told a gathering at a Tuesday night vigil. According to the preliminary reports, the chain reaction crash involved a bus, 2 commercial vehicles, and 2 passenger vehicles. They're investigating the tragedy. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
Got to stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way, I know we can find a way, I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. And we have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show, JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're working out, running, whatever you do, anywhere in the world, laying up at the beach, snatching, grabbing right now, a lot of black people snatching, grab. Did you see where down in Georgia, a bunch of blacks robbed according to report, one of those little truck thing that delivers stuff. And in Memphis, Tennessee, They snatch and grab at one of those big stores, and they're like doing Christmas shopping right now. And they call it affirmative action reparations. But anyway, if you're doing all that right now, you still could be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us on cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy.tv/JLP. And JLP Talk on X. JLP Talk on X. Ring the bell, like, follow, subscribe, and blah, blah, blah. And to donate, have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com, all right? Or Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. Manhood Hour is coming up in the third hour. So Jeff is gone, and I was talking to Jeff about his mother and sister being on drugs. He said that he and his father moved out, and the mother still come by sometime, harass, and got a bad attitude in essence. Dump her, Jeff. Leave her alone. Let her suffer in her own hell. You make a horrible mistake, but do what you want. When you try to save anyone from their misery, because they love their misery, that's why they're in their misery. They love it. And when you try to save them from their misery, they'll draw you in and destroy you. I don't care if they're parents, family members, friendship, co-workers, whatever. Even God doesn't force you out of your hell. Have you noticed that? Just think about that. He and his son, they sit up there and they have cafe mocha every morning with egg and bacon bites. And they turn on the big screen and they just, whoa, look at there. They'll look at hell on earth and the blindness of human beings when the light is available, but you want to accept the light. Isn't that like crazy? Think about that. The light is available, but you prefer the darkness. You prefer the darkness over the light. You prefer the darkness over the light. I want to give you one quick example, and then I'll take your calls. Here's an example of a human being preferring the darkness over the light. She is rejecting the light. And it's typical. The light came to save you, and you said, no, that boat is too small. I need an airplane. This is from the Daily Mail. A Georgia County Commissioner was found passed out along the sidewalk by cops before she became unruly with medic trying to provide her care. Watch this from Fox.
Commissioner Felicia Franklin claimed she was drugged at a bar, but police say they didn't find any proof of that. A toxicology report found only alcohol and weed in her system.
Ma'am. After police released this shocking footage of Clayton County Commissioner Felicia Franklin, the rest of the commission voted Monday to remove her as vice chair of the board. Police say the commissioner passed out on the ground outside the 404 Sports Bar and Grill alone.
Get him out my face! I don't give a get him out my face! You better.
After a bit more screaming, the wind seems to go out of Felicia's sails, at least for now. Perhaps exhaustion is catching up to her. Even on the verge of sleep, however, she still manages to behave defiantly.
He's trying to help you out. Why are you going to do that to me? I've been trying to help you out, too.
That's a black woman for you. What the? Isn't that amazing? That's a Georgia, according to the report, county commissioner. And she's living in the same hell as every human being are until they overcome it. It doesn't matter that she works as a Georgia commissioner, she still got hell inside of her. And being a Georgia commissioner is not going to solve that problem. And you worship her. And you worship her. She's out of it. Loving her hell. You cannot save not only yourself, but one other person from their hell. You don't have a right to be mad at them about their hell. You just wish them well and go on with your life working on you. Commit to working on you. Be all in. And white people, when will y'all wake up? When will y'all wake up? Did I do the biblical question? I did not. Oh, my biblical question for this week. Have you ever and can you ever solve a non-practical problem by thinking about it? Have you ever and can you ever solve a non-practical problem by thinking about it? Amazing question. White people, when will y'all wake up? The world is against you. You know, I'm looking at all the protests against the Jews, and then over the weekend there were Jewish protests against the Hamas people, I guess. And I saw this thing on Fox, and it said something like, because I'm not quoting it exactly, I'm black and slow, I didn't write it down. It says that since so-and-so in time, the hatred for Jews, the hatred for blacks, the hatred for Muslims, and the hatred for Asians have gone up. The hatred for Jews, the hatred for blacks, the hatred for Muslims, the hatred for Asian people have gone up since X amount of time. And there was not one mention, unless I'm understanding the message, there was not one mention of the hatred for for whites. If there's any hatred that's gone up, it's for the white man, for white people. It is through the roof for white people. Isn't that amazing? Unless I'm not understanding the message, maybe these people hate white people. Maybe they're saying the Jews, the blacks, the Muslim, and the Asians hate the whites. Hassan, you see the note? Yes, sir. Amazing, huh? I saw this, and I'm like, are they saying that white people hate all those people? Or are they saying that those people hate the whites? It's kind of a mixed message, but they left out the whites in either case. They didn't mention white people at all. In the white man's country, too. All these people that they named, the Jews, the blacks, the whites, the Jews, the black, the Muslims, and the Asians are in this country because of the white man. And they left the white man out. Apparently, the Anchor Baby played it on his show yesterday, that commercial. You can podcast the American Anchor Baby and check it out, but we have it now. Can we play it, Hassan? Who is it from? Israel. Stand for the Jews, the blacks, the Muslim, and the Asian. You don't want to stand for the white people? If you don't love all, you love none. And so I don't know, Nick, are they saying that white people hate everybody? And they say it look like it. It's from the Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism, Inc. I don't get this. I know when I interview people, I always ask, not always, most of the time, do you love white people? They can't say I love white people. I love all people. No, do you love white people? I love all people. No, do you love white people? Even if white people can't say, most of the time, once in a while they'll say yes. They can't say, white Christians can't say, yeah, I love white people. Once in a while, some guys are strong enough to say it. But white people, they're blaming you for everything. And you sit quietly by and let them blame you. What do you think going to happen? Young people, anger is all over them. Who do you think they're going to attack if that's all they hear, is that you are the problem? You may not have seen this story from the Daily Mail. New footage has emerged of the moment a boy was beaten to death by quote-unquote bullies, I say evil people, in Las Vegas. Watch this compilation.
This video is making the rounds online, showing what's believed to be the fight that happened Wednesday afternoon. Metro officers responding to reports of a student fight across the street from Rancho High School. The investigation revealing the victim got into a physical altercation with 15 people before cops arrived.
Nothing that large, like 3 people maybe, but like 15, I've never heard of that before.
His son says his kid kept to himself and had plans of moving to Austin, Texas with him. Instead, those dreams were shattered.
You can't just retaliate with hate, and get back and revenge all the time. Sometimes you got to talk it out.
Off camera, a neighbor tells us that he helped carry the victim to the campus parking lot. Bostic says he saw the aftermath.
Somebody was laying on the ground and they were out of commission and incapacitated.
Metro says the victim appeared to be unconscious when school staff performed CPR.
Look at the thuggish blacks beating up one little guy. A bunch of thugs, like wild wolves, wild animals. And they were saying that the hatred of Jews, blacks, Muslims, Asian going up. How about the hatred of white people? That little boy was beaten to death by a bunch of black thugs with no life. Angry, evil thugs. That's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. It has gotten worse. Remember years ago when they did the knockout games and the white people said, oh, it's because of slavery. It's not because of slavery, folks. Stop lying to yourself. It's because of evil. These boys have the spirit of their mother, which is the spirit of evil. And they're yearning for the father, and you're excusing evil. Hatred has gone up for everybody. The blacks don't like the Jews. What the? And the Jews don't like the blacks. They all try to pretend they get along because right now they're serving the same evil. And the Muslims definitely don't like the Jews or the blacks. Nobody like the blacks. They just tolerate the blacks because they're afraid of them taking their lives. And one last one you may not have heard of. I'm telling you, white people, I've been warning you for 33 years. You are under attack because you are being blamed for other people's failure in life. They refuse to take control of their own lives, and it's easy to sit back and blame you for it. And since they know you are afraid of one word, an empty word, a blank word, you're afraid to be called racist. And they'll wear you down with it. If you saw that as just a word that people try to control other people with, you would get past the word and let them call you whatever they want. That's not who you are in your own country. A bunch of black thugs, 30 of them, I think they said, jumped on one little white kid. And according to the report, killed him. And you think they're going to go to jail for it? No. If they go to jail, they're going to walk in one door and out the other one. Because they did it to a white guy. White lives don't matter. And white people indicate their lives don't matter. They don't even speak up about their own. What's wrong with speaking up in your own country? And if you think that one is bad, ABC is reporting a Louisiana Tech University student is in custody after he allegedly stabbed 4 people in a random act of violence. Ain't no random. On campus, according to the university. Watch this from KCAL.
The women were attacked at the Lambright Sports and Wellness Center around 9 a.m. Monday.
It was literally right there. That's my bathroom window. I heard screaming, and it was loud, but I didn't think anything of it because, it's the Lambright.
One victim was flown to a Shreveport hospital, 2 were taken to a local hospital, and the other refused treatment. According to local authorities, 1 victim was listed in critical condition.
All 4 were either instructors or taking a class at the Lambright and had exited the building and were either on the sidewalk or in the parking lot when this happened.
The suspect, senior tech student Jacoby Johnson, was arrested just south of the Lambright facility by Tech Police.
This is really like a really rare thing that happens at Louisiana Tech. I've been raised in wrestling. This just never happened. So
Johnson sits in the Lincoln Parish Detention Center charged with 4 counts of attempted second-degree murder.
He ain't going to jail. He'll be out. Because it was white people they killed. He was accused of killing. Remember when this was happening over in Europe? They were letting all these Muslims and blacks from Africa and others into Europe. What did they start doing? Raping and killing the white women. And the men, and we used to report on it here. Now it's in our country. They did the same thing in South Africa and still doing it. And what do white people do? Oh, it's slave. We feel so guilty. They can't help it. How did you get that way? You were not that way when I was growing up. What happened along the roadside? In your own country, in your own house. It's not even their home. It's yours. White men founded and created the greatest country on this side of heaven with the help of God, and look at what thanks they get. The Federalist is reporting that FBI, Department of Justice, refused to call Covenant shooting, school shooting, an anti-white hate crime, even after racist manifesto is leaked. They won't say it's a hate crime to white because it happened to whites. And then the black kids who been accused of killing other white people, they don't say they were black. If they were white kids doing it to blacks, they would say they were they were white supremacists. The KKK. They'll make sure you knew it was white right away. And white people, they killing your women, your children. They're raping your daughters. The worst thing you can have in life is fear. And you see what's happening as a result of having fear. Get beyond fear. There's no love in fear. Christ came that we might not have fear, but be in perfect love, authority, and in control. If white people are doing this to white people, this is all we'll be talking about for years. They would put the war on the back burner. But you barely hear about these things when it's happening to the whites. May God have mercy on my country. It's no longer tears of thee. Anger is being pushed as good, and white people are under attack. They say the Jews, the blacks, the Muslims, the Asians, everybody but the whites. And it's the whites who are primarily under attack in their countries, not just America, but I put home first. The Revolver is reporting John Rote tried to intervene when another homeless lunatic was assaulting a woman in a New York City subway. Mr. Rote fired a warning shot to scare away the bad guy, but it was Mr. Rote who ended up arrested. Watch this from Fox.
When interviewed by detectives, the NYPD says that 43-year-old John Rote stated that he opened fire inside a Midtown subway station Tuesday to stop a mugging. Strap hangers like Rocket Clayman are now making their own statements about this kind of intervention.
I think guns are never the answer. I think that we need stronger gun control across the board in this country.
I'm really against guns, particularly in the subway.
Authorities say Tuesday night inside the NRW subway station at West 49th and 7th Avenue, a panhandler had opened the emergency gate and threatened to steal the purse of a woman if she didn't give him money. According to police, Rote told officers he was watching and pulled a gun out he was carrying and fired warning shots in an attempt to stop the mugging.
You should call a police officer. I don't think you should be carrying a gun on the subway, and it's very scary.
No injuries were reported. After firing the shots, police say Rote took off, eventually being taken into custody Wednesday.
Amazing. So the white man does the right thing, and he get punished. The suspect must be black, because they sure didn't mention him, huh? If he had been white, you would have known. So it must have been another black. And those dumb female, oh, we shouldn't have guns on the subway. You want to have these radical thugs on the subway and not guns to protect yourself, dummies? Ignorant women. They need men to guide them. Oh, guns are never that good. And you want them running your government. The white man is punished for doing the right thing. In his own land. They don't want guns on the subway. They also don't want cops on the subway. Defund the cops, remember? Defund the police. No guns, no cops, no help. And just let the thuggest blacks run wild. What kind of thinking is that? What? It's a spiritual battle, folks. It has nothing to do with color. Until you're born again of the Father, you are evil. You're evil. Human beings are evil. I don't care what they say. Evil works through human beings. Anyone that has anger, I'm warning you, do what you want. I don't care if it's your mama, your daddy, whomever it might be. You heard Jeff call in about his mama. According to Jeff, he was a drug addict and tried to destroy him. Making him feel guilty, 17 years old, I believe, about her dumbness. When I come back, your phone calls and super chat. When will you wake up? If not now, when? If not now, you are responsible for you. As an adult, nobody else is. No one. Not even your parents. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they will become it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. So I'm being told by my producer they did catch that subway thing where the white man shot to try to protect. It was a white guy, they say. Just FYI. Announcement. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. TheHakeReport.com. And from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And at, what's the day, Wednesday? At 12 noon, the American Anchor Babe. The American Anchor Babe. At 12 noon. I thought we had a brand new episode of Father's Day, but I may be a little off here. I don't see it here, sir. But at some point, we do have a brand new show of the Father's Day coming up this Friday. And what else? So the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. You don't want to miss it. Pacific time. I want to play one other quick soundbite for you. Another example of going down the wrong road. Literally, we're going down the wrong road. You think all the other stuff I showed you was bad, and it is. It's pure evil. Hell on earth. X is reported being indentures and non-binary isn't a logical excuse for drinking and driving. Watch this from TikTok.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Why are you driving in the wrong way of traffic?
No, I just got changed around. I just moved here like 2 months ago.
Okay.
And I just got changed around.
Just go ahead, step out.
As an Indigenous person.
Miss Perry?
Well, I'm non-binary, so.
Okay. What do you go by?
It's Kai.
How can I refer to you tonight? Kai? Okay. Hey, I'm smelling alcohol.
I know.
How much have you consumed tonight?
Like probably 3 drink.
I need to run you. Focus on my finger, please.
I am. You're just like trying to intimidate me.
I don't know how I'm trying to do that. This is the test.
As you know, as an Indigenous person, and there's a bunch of going around. I'm sorry, but.
With your arms by your side, just like this, ma'am.
Can you not call me ma'am, please?
I'm trying my hardest.
Okay, well.
Okay.
It means a lot to me.
I'm trying my
I
hardest.
don't feel like a man, so.
Okay.
It's kind of triggering. But I just want to tell you that I suffer from really bad anxiety, especially with generational trauma and PTSD around white people and cops. Like, don't!
Listen to me. Don't resist.
Don't! You're being a white man and
Come here.
don't! I followed all of your shit! Like, as an Indigenous person, like, you guys! You guys are scaring me!
She playing. She was just joking. You being a white man, stop. You being a white man, stop doing that. I'm an Indigenous person. I'm traumatized. And you being white. She look white to me. Maybe they're white Indians. What a mess. Tell me hell is not on earth working through human beings. You have a choice. You can stay in your hell on earth, or you can come out of it and live in paradise on earth, heaven on earth. You don't have to stay in hell. The way been made. The Father sent His Son. His Son paid the price. All your sins been wiped away. Just think about that. You call yourself a sinner, but yet God called you His child. But you call yourself a sinner. God said you're not guilty. All your sins have been washed away, and you say you're guilty. Brenda is out of New York. Brenda, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, Brenda.
Can you hear me all right?
Loud and clear.
So I tried your 2-week challenge of gratitude, and I failed in like a day.
I said
And
2
I
weeks challenge, don't blame anyone for your situations, right?
Right.
And you failed in one day?
In one day.
How did you, what happened?
Well, actually, and that's part of my second question. What happened was I got into an argument with my mother, and then I blamed her for it. And I still kind of do feel like it's her fault, but I'm trying, so I'm still failing the challenge, and I'm trying to look at what is my part in it, and I'm trying to understand why I fall into this pattern of blame when I should know better. And I wanted to ask you, like, if you forgive your mother, right, and then she does something again that is one of the things you forgave her for, do you forgive her again, or is the first forgiveness supposed to cover everything?
The first forgiveness, if you truly forgave, seal the deal.
So even if they do that thing again that you forgave them for, you should be like, okay, I forgave you for doing that even if you do it again.
Just think about it, Brenda, for a minute. If your mother does something over and over again, what does it have to do with you? It's your mother doing it, not Brenda doing it. What does it have to do with you?
I feel like maybe I bring it, like I make her angry, or I trigger her, and then that's why an argument starts. I'm trying to see my part of it because I don't want to blame.
How can you make another person angry? That is impossible. How can you do something that's impossible?
When you say that, logically I understand, and if a friend came to me, I might give them that advice myself. But I don't know. It does. I'm having a hard time really grasping that. I mean, like, it's not my fault. I feel like, I don't know. I was just listening earlier to the show and hearing you tell the previous young man, which God bless him. Like, I wish him well. You know, that he's not responsible. Like, the things you were saying about his mother, I could relate to. But I didn't know where's the disconnect of me hearing what you're saying and it making sense to me, but then me actually applying it to my life.
So how is it possible for you to make another person angry, or another person can make you angry? How is that possible? It doesn't even exist. How come it exists to you? It seemed to be real.
I don't know. That's what I'm struggling I'm trying to understand why, or maybe I'm overthinking it. You know, you say all thoughts are lies, so maybe I just need to accept the way things are and then I feel guilty about it because I feel like I blame my mother for an argument. Maybe I'm a part of it, and then I don't want to be in a fight with her.
Well, then don't fight with the devil. You don't have to fight with the devil. Inside of you or outside of you, inside of others. There are no rules that says you have to fight with the devil.
So if a situation comes where it might be a fight, I should just not engage. And I guess if I get mad, that's my ego. That's my ego. I still have to work on my ego.
If you get mad at anyone else, it's you. It's inside of you. It's you. And no one else is to blame. If someone get angry at you, it's not you, it's them. It's inside of them. You're not responsible for them, and they're not responsible for you. You're responsible for you, and they are responsible for themselves. What would happen if you stop believing these things that you're believing?
I don't know.
What would happen if you stop listening to thoughts?
I probably have more peace.
So why don't you take that route? Why don't you go down that road?
I'm trying, and I feel like listening to you helps me, and issues I have, like I feel like I'm evolving and growing, but sometimes I fall back in patterns. Like I've been doing the silent prayer every morning, And sometimes in the day, if I remember, if I think of something or I need some peace. But I don't do it at night only because I don't have a regular type bedtime, and I usually just end up falling asleep. So I kind of forget to do the silent prayer because I just fall asleep.
And when you feel,
it's hard. I don't understand that either. It's like I said, it's a disconnect between knowing what I'm supposed to do and then doing it. Maybe I'm still loving my hell. I'm still too connected to loving my hell.
without a doubt, everyone who is in their hell love their hell. That's why they're in their hell. That's why they hold on to it. They'll lie and tell you, "Oh, I don't love my hell." Yes, you do. Because if you didn't love your hell, you let go of it.
Okay, I'm going to work on that.
And Brenda, why don't you try? Oh, let me ask this first. Why do you call the anger you?
Because that's what it feels like. It feels like it's me.
How's that?
I'm not sure how to describe it in words. I just feel like, and maybe it's arrogant. Maybe that's my ego. And I've said that to myself, oh, don't be you're not so freaking special that you can control the whole world or control people. But sometimes that's what it feels like.
Are you your feelings?
Sometimes it feels that way. I feel like I get tricked into that. It's
right.
old habit, old way of thinking.
What would you say will happen if you didn't believe that you were your feelings and stop identifying with it? What would happen then?
I probably have more peace.
And the feeling would disappear because they're not you. You just say they're you. You identify with it, but you're not your feelings at all. All feelings are evil. The so-called good ones and the bad ones are the same. They're evil. And it's just a false identity inside of your physical body, but you call it you because you think that you're your body.
That's interesting that you say that, and I really appreciate that because actually I've been disturbed, even though the argument was a week ago. When I think about it, I'll feel physically ill. I'll feel upset in my stomach. And even when we had the argument, I felt physically upset. So that's interesting how, it's almost like my body is tricking me into thinking. But I almost go into a fight or flight feeling when I have an argument with her.
And why don't you stand still and watch those thoughts and feelings of so-called anger or so-called feel-good and stop calling it you? It's like the wind. When the wind comes, you don't know where it came from or where it's going. Same thing with thoughts. Thoughts are just thoughts. And the feelings just confirm the thoughts. And it makes you think that is you.
Okay.
Why don't you take, at least for one time in your life, stop calling these things Brenda? And just see it for what it is. Just see it. That's all you have to do. And don't give it a name either way.
Okay. I'm going to do that.
And I understand what you mean when you say you feel the anger in your body, but there's just a spirit that you feel in the body. You're not that spirit. You're not that evil spirit. Yes, you do feel it in your physical body, but it's not you. And if you stop calling it you, I promise you it will end.
I appreciate that, and I also appreciate you saying that it's an evil spirit that's not me, because I do, and maybe I have to watch my ego, but sometimes I do think, am I evil? Am I going against God because you're supposed to honor your mother and father, right? So am I evil for having weird feelings about an argument with my mom, like it's her fault? Is that me not honoring her?
And where you get those thoughts from?
I don't know, I guess from the Catholic Church. I know, Jesse, I can't help it.
To honor your parents simply mean don't resent them. They could not help themselves. Your mother can't help but be evil because she has not tried to overcome evil. Just like you believe it's you, she believes it's her, and it's not. And so leave your mother in her hell, and you just work on Brenda, but don't resent your mother in her hell. Leave her there. She love her hell. Why go into her hell or allow her into your world, to bring her hell into your world?
Right,
you
right.
are your own world. There's no one else but Brenda.
Yeah, I want to do that while still maintaining, a good, healthy relationship with her. And we've mostly been
Why
really
you
good,
need to maintain a good, healthy relationship with her? Why?
because I love her.
If you loved her, you would let her go. You ain't got no good, healthy relationship with her now.
Mm.
You resent her and she resent you. And both trying to control each other. Where's the good relationship in that?
I see what you're saying. I see your point.
So why lie to yourself? Oh, I want a good relationship with my mama. We got somewhat of a good relationship. No, you don't. You want a good relationship with Brenda, nobody else. And your world will be fine, and you will get along with the whole world and not be affected by the world. But it starts with you, Brenda. It starts with you, and it ends with you.
Okay. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. You always lead me in you show me the right direction. You guide me. You give very good advice. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Stop trying to have a relationship with your mama or anyone. If it doesn't happen naturally, it's not meant to be. Whether you're married or have children or have so-called friends or whatever, if it ain't happening naturally, it's evil. Don't try to force evil to work. It'll destroy you.
Okay, Jesse.
So give your mama the finger.
Well, I don't know if I'll quite do that, but I will definitely, in other ways, I will take your advice, but I don't think I'll give her the finger.
Well, when I say give her the finger, I don't literally mean give her the finger. I mean wish her well and go live your life.
Yes.
You don't need mama. And you don't owe mama anything.
Okay, yes, thank you.
When your mama and daddy laid up to make Brenda, did they send you a note up to heaven and say, here, Brenda, sign this note that once we make you and take care of you, you got to take care of us. Did you sign a promissory note like that?
Not that I recall.
So why do you feel so compelled that you owe them something?
I guess because I care about them, and I feel that you should take care of your parents and the elderly.
Brenda, you do not care about your parents if you have those feelings.
Really?
That's a guilt feelings. Those are guilt feelings. That is not love. If you're going to help someone, you do it because that's what you want to do, but not from any form of feeling. That's vanity. That's ego. Because now you feel guilty, you got to help. Now you feel good about helping, which is vanity, which is ego. And if you don't help, you feel bad, which is vain, which is ego. You're up and down in ego.
Okay. I see what you're saying. And I agree. I mean, I do want to do it because I want to do it.
No,
but
you don't.
I also see what you're saying. No, I probably have both feelings.
But if you have both feelings, they're both wrong. You want to be one whole, not a divided.
Okay. That makes sense.
Amazing.
Amazing. You know how you say men are beta? Can a lady be beta? Am I beta?
I'm talking to a beta. Beta right now.
Beta.
Beta.
Can a beta become an alpha, or am I stuck? No,
Absolutely,
I
a beta can become. You drop all the anger and let life happen, you will instantly become a alpha male, alpha female.
Alpha beta.
You will have the mind of God.
That's funny because that's what we had the argument over was he, she, because I'm a freelancer and I went on a job interview and they asked me my pronouns and I didn't give it to them. And I think that might have affected whether or not I got the job. And I said that to her, and then she's like, well, why didn't you just say he, she? And I was like, because that's ridiculous to say he, she.
That's right.
And then it turned into a fight about that.
Do you still live with your mama or something?
No, but she's elderly, so I go to her house once a week to help her.
But don't be telling her your business. She can't see.
Okay.
She'll make you feel bad because she's in hell. She's of the world, in the world, of the world, and is the world. That's why she's trying to make you take on the ways of the world. She want to keep you in the hell that she's in.
Well, I hear the music coming up. I guess that means that my time with you is done. Thank you so much, Jesse.
You're welcome. Beta!
Beta! Amazing!
Amazing. Thank you, Brenda. Call me again.
I will. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye.
All right, bye now. Let me take a quick break. Hake coming in with the hate news, not the fake news. And I'll be back in a moment. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. You know, freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought, because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free, just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing.
A lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Wednesday, November 15th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour 3. Manhood Hour is coming right up with JLP. And he will be right back to your calls. But first, Hake News, not fake news. Tomorrow, third Thursday of the month, ladies, 7 p.m. at Bond in Los Angeles. Women's Forum, rebuildingtheman.com/events. Coming, Nonsense Network, CNN, and the far-left female-run outlet, The Skim Report. UK plans to send asylum seekers, meaning illegals, wannabe refugees, to Rwanda, was blocked by the UK's evil Supreme Court. Britain's controversial, meaning on the way to being reasonable, plan to deport asylum seekers, wannabe, to Rwanda was struck down by UK's Supreme Court today, unconstitutional because they would be at real risk of ill treatment. The decision is a severe setback to some in the Conservative government plans. Their plans that drew international attention, a potentially fatal blow to Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, nice English name, his flagship policy on migration, the invasion, setting up an anticipated revolt from the right wing of his so-called Conservative Party. And Biden and Xi sitting in a tree. Coming Nonsense Network, CNN reports so-called President Sleepy Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping. Today, the two so-called leaders are meeting for the first time in a year amid concerns over everything from spy balloon to military tensions on water and in the sky. Expectations for that California meeting, I guess that's happening in, San Fran? Taking place during the annual APEC summit, APEC. They're low. Expectations are low. The two have apparently signed off on a climate agreement ahead of today's meeting. Oh, Lord, the important stuff. Biden and Xi could also find consensus on a few other things. About they want to reopen military-to-military communications and take AI software out of nuclear command systems. May also agree to crack down on fentanyl, which created with chemicals primarily sourced from China, part of an uptick in overdose-related deaths in the United States. I heard the Chinese government is funding far-left candidates in Mexico to keep the illegal fentanyl imports coming in. Ahead of the meeting, Biden has said the goal is to get back on a normal course with China. What's cooling off? Inflation, according to the far-left ladies at the Skim. Yesterday, the so-called Labor Department, which should be disbanded, released new data that paints not so scary picture of the economy last month. Overall, the Consumer Price Index, whatever that is, didn't change month to month. Lowest it's been since July. Stuff is getting supposedly a little cheaper, including gasoline, but it rose from the same time last year by 3.2%. Wall Street was happy about the news. Supposedly, Dow jumped about 500 points. Best day it's had since April, which is not saying much. Economists think inflation will continue to drop, meaning because it's been in record highs, I guess, right? And the latest report could sway the evil Federal Reserve, right? Is it evil? From raising interest rates this year. Evil woman promoting evil. Speaking of evil. Evil singer, 44-year-old Pink, according to Commie Nonsense Network and the ladies at the Skim. Real name, Alicia Beth Moore Hart. She kept her maiden name and her husband's last name. Irish, German, Lithuanian Jew. She is giving away banned books, 2,000 banned books at Florida concerts, or a Florida concert with sexual content, themes of sexuality, gender identity, and race. It's confusing. It's infuriating. It's censorship, she said, bashing Florida for trying to protect the children from the evil propaganda in these books. Pink has joined forces with far-left anti-Trump pro-censorship PEN America, which pretends to be against censorship, but they're for it. They're for censoring the truth. She put out a statement released by PEN America. It's especially hateful to see authorities take aim at books about race and racism and against LGBTQ authors and those of color. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
Got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. We made it to the third hour. You can get involved by calling, and there is a line open if you want to jump in there, by calling 888-7753. 773 888-77-JESSE. JESSE. Jesse. My biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. Have you ever And can you ever solve a non-practical problem by thinking about it? Have you ever, and can you ever solve a non-practical problem by thinking about it? Amazing question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And you can listen to the show anywhere in the world. We are heard around the world, Monday through Friday, by everybody and their mama. And if you're a flat earther, we are heard up and down the world by everybody and their mama. And if you're black, everybody and their mama. If you're white, everybody and their mother. You can call the listen line on your iPhone or iPad if you're not able to sit and watch the show by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And to comment, donate, and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Buymeacoffee.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Or rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. So it's Wednesday. Every Wednesday. The last hour of the show on Wednesdays is... I'm going to do my Trump. Manhood Hour. What is a man? What is a man?
It's an adult human male.
Manhood. Hillary or President Trump?
I voted for Hillary Clinton.
Beta. Beta male. A man is a male who turned to man. Alpha male. Live right, be right, and lead the way. That's Hassan's dog.
We're the men.
Are you ever going McMuffin?
You call me, bro?
Are you ever going Chicken Nugget?
Who the you talking to? Man, we don't do that shit over now, but we gonna get out.
Chill, chill, bro.
Oh, there they are. There they are. Margaret. Oh. Shout out to my fellow radicals.
You're saying that they're paying their fair share is what you're saying.
Nadia Muhammad won the election for mayor St. Louis Park with 58% of the vote.
My race is done. You're inheriting the earth, along with some other undesirables.
It's a joke. It's all a joke.
What a mess. I've not seen that. That's from the Anchor Baby. The Anchor Baby put that together? From the Anchor Baby. He's on every day at 12.
Amazing.
Except Friday at 4 Pacific time. Let me do this, and then we'll do some super chats and phone calls, right? 888-7753-773. Let me go to first-time caller, Jenny out of Florida. Jenny, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Hey, Jenny.
Hello.
You're on the air.
Yes. Thank you for accepting my call. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
The reason I actually started listening to you was several months ago at the beginning of the year. I was struggling with anger, going to sleep angry, waking up angry. So I started looking online for, I guess, resources that would help me deal with the anger, and I just ran across you. And quite honestly, I thought you were a bit weird. A bit unorthodox, but I continued to listen and listen and listen. And actually, you espoused a lot of things that I had learned maybe like 15 years ago when I started getting really physically disabled, and I went somewhere where it taught us that most of our physical ailments were spiritually induced because either self-hatred, unforgiveness, bitterness, all that manifested in itises, whether it's arthritis or what have you, or heart disease and so forth. It usually had to do with just that, unforgiveness, self-hatred, so forth. So I kind of learned that, and I honestly felt that I didn't have hatred towards anyone. Prior to learning this, I didn't really, the Lord let me see to not dwell on me and kind of look at others, so it kind of diminished what I was going through. And I was able to kind of see, as you say, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know not what they do. And I was able to see from that perspective, which allowed me to honestly, I thought, accept and extend help to actual enemies, whether it was in a work environment, someone that would literally try to sabotage my job or my promotion, what have you. But, when that person came to my home maybe several months later to actually ask forgiveness, I was able to see, the issues that she had, like I say issues,
right?
As you say, the situation.
Yes.
And I'm going to be 72, so I've lived several different family dynamics because I've been married several times. I have 4 children, raising a grandchild, and at the moment, I am in a situation where I'm in my own home, but invaded by my youngest with her child, because, again, I acknowledge it's an insane situation because I keep doing the same thing over and over.
Yep.
Because I keep thinking about this 18-month-old child, and regardless how much I say no, you weren't invited, you are not wanted, you are an adult, it doesn't matter. And because, quite honestly, I have some physical issues that makes it difficult for me to think properly because my mind gets in a fugue state with vertigo and stuff. Other issues, like I said. So it makes it difficult for me to kind of withstand, because it's a constant bombardment. But what I called about was, again, to thank you, because today was the first time that I was actually able to sit through at least 5 minutes of silent prayer, which I've been attempting to do for the longest. I'm housebound, so I'm a gardener. I sit outside, and outside is my time, because gardening is my closeness to God, because it demonstrates so much of how God treats us in His plant life, So I feel like I'm always communing in His presence, because I can't help it. I'm surrounded by Him, But I've never been able to do the silence. Excuse me, I think I have an alarm clock. Do you hear it? I apologize.
No, you don't.
But anyway,
I don't hear anything. Go ahead.
Okay, I've actually come to the point where I try to look at the emotions, because it's not just an anger. It's a rage that wells up.
Yes.
Because I'm dealing with a person that, as a young child, she was diagnosed ADHD, bipolar, and now she has, and she believes a lot of these other diagnoses that she's been giving, and she manifests a lot of symptoms because, again, she attempts to live the Christian life, but she doesn't. Her universe is a bit different from, I guess, reality. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with this constantly, and as often as I feel I have it, okay, Sid, watch your thoughts. And I'm concerned because I'm using all thoughts or all lies all the time as a mantra now. And I don't want it to be a mindless mantra. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, or ask, how best can I continue to allow this anger and rage? And I understand it's because I don't have control in my own home. I have no control, absolutely. And I have no control over my own life because of, again, physical or what have you. These are maybe excuses, I don't know, but it's what it is. So how may I continue to engage and see it, like you say, watch the thought, but not make it like a bystander watching. Does that make any sense? Because sometimes I feel that that's the only way to keep my blood pressure down and, going into whatever. I literally have to kind of step out of myself and kind of watch it from that outside perspective.
Well, Jenny, have you heard me say forgive your mother?
Yes.
Have you done that?
My mom passed away over 25 years ago, but actually, I did. I actually asked her. Well, it turned out that my dad was unfortunately a very sick individual, and he was sexually abusive towards his daughters. There's like 6 girls and 1 guy, one son. But anyway, he actually asked, he understood that he was sick. He actually attempted suicide sometimes, but he did ask my forgiveness, and I forgave him, and my mom was there, and it's like, why don't you forgive me? And I said, well, Mom, you never asked. You did. But prior to her passing away, she lived with me those 6 months when she was, failing. And we spoke, and yes, I did. I didn't know that I had to forgive her, because I understood that she was just a product of her upbringing. She almost think about a Puerto Rican Appalachian, pretty much, Depression era, Catholic, the oldest daughter, we practically made her the mom. So out of 16 kids, I think it was. So I understood what made her behave the way she did.
Well, the same thing with your father. The same thing that was driving, the same spirit that was driving your mother and father, it's the same spirit that's been driving you. And if you stay with the prayer and just watch, 5 minutes is good. At least 5 minutes is better than no minutes. And eventually it will get, you'll be able to sit still longer and longer. But just all you have to do is do the silent prayer and watch those thoughts. And if you have to remind yourself for now, all thoughts are all lies all the time, that's okay too, because it's just a reminder. And eventually you will not have to remind yourself. And I want you to know that the anger that you feel in your body, the thoughts that are happening in your mind are not yours, never have been, cannot be, will not be, is not going to be.
I've heard you say that so many times.
Yeah, so...
And I try to receive it, chew on it, smoke on it, soak it. You know what I'm saying? I can't. But again, it's a tricky situation because not only do I have my youngest daughter with her 18-month-old, but I have her older son whom I adopted and I've been raising from an infant.
How old is he?
And he's going to be 17.
Well, why don't you just put everybody out?
Well, he's actually been told it's like you need to make a decision what you're going to do, son, because apparently living in your room cave, playing on your games or doing what have you, because he's homeschooled. So granted, he has certain hours that he's got to do, his work or what have you, but the rest, but again, he stays in there because he tries to avoid his mom. He calls her his biological mom because there's such animosity. And I try to tell him, it's like you need to understand you're becoming the person that you're hating.
Yeah,
and it's killing you.
He become like what he hate. But let me tell you this. You tell them they got to go and just say, no, you can't stay. Give your daughter a month or so and tell her she got to go and just be serious about it. But you're right. Anger destroys every fiber in the body, every muscle, every cell, every bone, every blood vessel, everything. So I want to encourage you to stay with the silent prayer and just watch those thoughts. Don't fight with them. Don't call them you. Just watch. And it's the observation of them that will destroy them because that is the light of God. So all you have to do is what? Stop fighting and just become a watcher. I promise you it works.
Thank you. It may allow me to deal with practical issues, such as if Child Protective Services has become involved, that at least I have an option for the baby because I know I can't help her. I couldn't. The second son that's being raised by the paternal grandmother, because, at the time I was 58 and two toddlers, I knew that I was incapable, and unfortunately I had to just let it go. Not unfortunately, but it was what it was.
How old is your daughter?
34.
Jenny, give that lady her baby and tell her bye. Don't make that
Jesse,
your issue at all.
I have been telling her, bye. Literally, you need to leave.
We'll call the police and tell the police to remove her.
Well, that's exactly what she tells me. Evict me. I said, well, you know what? You have to be a tenant in order to be evicted. You're neither. So, you know what?
But call the police and tell the police to remove her from your home.
I'm going to have to because... all right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Listen, call the police and work on you now. Take your eyes off everybody else and just work on you. Do the silent prayer, watch those thoughts, and take it one moment, one day at a time. And if you stay with it, amazing things will happen through you. It will be amazing.
I believe do that.
So
But yeah, that's what I'm doing, one breath at a time sometimes.
That's right, one day at a time. And have the cops come and remove that grown woman from your house with her baby.
Okay, thank you.
Let me know how it goes, all right?
All right, you be blessed.
All right. Right now. Amazing super chat.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Over on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, toast with peanut butter says, oh, I already read this one about the phone call.
I like peanut butter and banana.
Right on.
You too?
I don't have that much, no. I would probably like it okay.
Billy, you like peanut butter and banana?
I don't know. Yeah.
You sure?
Oh, yeah.
See?
Sean says yes.
Not Sean, but Hassan.
I like peanut butter with apples, bananas.
Yeah, me too. I see Sean eat it all the time, so I know he like it.
Celery. There you go, Nick. Peanut butter with celery.
I have never had it with that, but I can imagine.
Celery almost tastes like peanut butter because of the association I have with it.
But who needs celery?
Celery
doesn't have an amazing taste to me.
Yeah, huh?
Celery's healthy.
But it doesn't taste that.
By itself, though.
It tastes better by itself?
No, I'm saying by itself, it's not much, but,
Yeah.
it works well with
Peanut butter.
I think celery is a
Celery
white...
works well with peanut butter, says.
Celery is a white thing.
You burn calories eating celery. Did you know that?
I bet you do, because it's so hard to chew on.
Prince Vibes bought a coffee. What do I do with my husband cusses at the kids in frustration? Currently, he is not trying to overcome. Do I tell him not to do that, or do I stay silent as the obeying wife? Moments like this confuse me. My son held back tears when his dad left the room. He asked if parents are supposed to cuss at their kids. Thanks for all your help.
Tell your son to talk to your father about it. I mean, his father about it. Tell him to tell his father when he does that, it hurts. And not to be angry at his father. His father can't help it. All right? Let's see what happens. Let me know. Thank you.
The Key bought 3 coffees. Jesse, this may be an answer to the biblical question.
Have you ever and can you ever solve a non-practical problem by thinking about it?
A practice that helped me to overcome thoughts was to identify the spirits by their name as I observed them. This practice helped me understand spiritual warfare and taught me how to guard my heart and mind from evil. It also prevents you from identifying the spirit as yourself, using the destructive I statements. By understanding your many adversaries and knowing them by their names, you become separate from them, he says. The Key says.
But they didn't answer the biblical question.
He said it may be an answer. He didn't say it definitely was.
That ain't no answer at all.
Whatever. Zuzu C.
What the? There ain't no answer. Bill, have you ever solved non-practical problem by thinking about it?
Non-practical.
Have you ever and can you ever solve non-practical problem by thinking about it?
Isn't he supposed to be sitting here?
No. Well, he may walk out like he did with Nick yesterday.
But that would be better because he's off camera. He's off air.
Oh, come and tell him real fast. No. He walk off.
He said no.
He walk off and left Nick.
JLP commanded him, and he said no.
Nick, like, don't walk in front. You can walk in front of the camera. But anyway, he said no. He said no about the.
No.
Huh?
I said no.
He said no. Go ahead.
Zuzu,
thank you.
Zuzu, thank you. The Key.
But that person didn't respond to the biblical question.
Said it may be an answer.
Oh. Well, how could they thought that was an answer?
I cannot do follow-ups on these super chats.
Follow up. Thank you.
Zuzu CC on bought a coffee. Please take a break and rest. I know you want to help people and everything, but you need time to rest your body. Jesse N-word.
Am I tired?
I don't know.
I didn't know I was tired. I don't feel no ways tired. I feel like going on. Thank you, CI.
Chalice gave 3 Cash App donations saying thanks.
Thank you.
Jaylen also gave a Cash App. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jaylen.
NF, a Cash App. Nefarious. Nice.
Thank you.
John also gave a Cash App. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you, John.
Someone bought a coffee. I have forgiven my mother and father. I've overcome emotions and anger, and I do the silent prayer every morning and night. I have a girlfriend, and I'm having a hard time overcoming sex. I see what I'm doing, but most of the time I don't even want to do it. It just happens. I am living with my girlfriend, but I'll be moving out into my own apartment a month from now. Any advice? What do you recommend I should do to overcome this? Thanks, and I appreciate all you've done for me.
A man should never move in with the woman. You bring the woman into your world, not go into her world. You catch nothing but hell. Do the silent prayer and watch, and don't call it you. Thank you.
Soul Conscious 5 coffees. Jesse, my answer to the biblical question is...
Have you ever and can you ever solve a non-practical problem by thinking about it?
No, because there is no such thing as a non-practical problem, and thinking is consulting with the devil, says Soul Conscious.
I'll put my little 2 cents on Sunday. Thank you.
Greenwald bought a coffee saying, I love that song Hake played yesterday. I blew up the clinic real good by Steve Taylor. Ice cream is serious business, folks. Take it from a grocery worker.
Nice. Thank you.
The Great White Hope.
What song you played?
I blew up the clinic real good.
That's the name of the song?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he said he turned the radio up at the clinic.
That's funny.
Thank you.
No, he's a grocery worker, not a clinic worker.
Oh, I thought you were saying you turned the radio up at the clinic and the grocery store heard it.
The Great White Hope bought a coffee. Is it a choice to listen to thoughts? How can I stop choosing to do this?
By just watching. That's all. Thank you.
Canadian David says politicians used to duel. You know how like that fight almost happened?
Yeah. I heard about that. That it started a long time ago. Let me take a break. When I come back, we'll finish this Super Chat. Thank you. Your Super Chats and your phone calls when I come back. Back in a moment. Check out my book, For Raised to Responsibility. I show you how I was able to overcome anger. The spirit of anger was taken away from me. I had it. And as a result of having anger, I was insecure. I had doubt, worry, fear. I was in a fallen state and didn't know it. And it wasn't until I went and forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father. I forgave my father for not being there and returned back to him. My spirit connected with his spirit, and through him, I was able to return to God. And I have perfect peace. Perfect love casts out anger. And when anger is gone, fear and doubt, worry, insecurity, suicidal thoughts, all of that is gone. And you are free. Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, or if you want an autographed copy, you can go to my website at rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. Jet moved to Beverly Hills. Oil, that is. Welcome back. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. The Hake Report is coming up at the top of this hour. The Hake Report. .com from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at 12 noon Pacific time. The latest forum tomorrow night, ladies, at 7 p.m. every third Thursday night, but ladies only at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And don't forget, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. Phone, Skype, FaceTime. Go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-2663, 800-411-BOND to set an appointment, to make an appointment. And it's Christmas. It's the end of the year. It's tax time. It's time for giving. So not only have you been helped, I shouldn't even have to mention it, but you should be giving back. Or if you want a tax deduction, give to Bond, my nonprofit, all right? Rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND to make a donation as well. Let me go to Anthony out of Nevada. Anthony, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How you doing there, Mr. Jesse?
All is well, Anthony.
I got a couple questions for you. I've been simmering in God's wisdom, and I know that the times that we're looking at right now, it seems crazy. Everybody's angry at everybody. But my question to you is, do we believe in debt? You know, when somebody does something wrong and when somebody does something right. So if you do something right, you receive love, you receive life. It makes your life lighter to live because you have righteousness in you, you're light. But when you do wrong, heaviness and a shame and a curse comes upon you. Now, what I'm asking is, can we actually look at Israel or white people or any country and say that they're blessed because they've made nothing but right decisions? And that's why I get confused, because we're all taking sides, yet there's no right. I don't see Israel doing right by the Palestinians. I don't see the Palestinians doing right by the Israelis. I see some whites doing wrong by other people, the Native Americans that live here. You don't put them down because you took their land from them, but you raise them. If you're going to play their father, at least you can extend God's love to these people that you have overthrown. Or hatred grows in those people's heart, and they become a curse to your people.
Anthony, ask me a simple question. Don't preach. Just ask me a question, because I'm not understanding what your question is.
If you believe in righteousness, like when you say white people are getting blamed for all this, do you believe that they have a portion that they owe debt? It's not my judgment. It's God's judgment. There is a certain portion of debt they have to pay.
Oh, debt to who?
To God, to themselves. Not me, not anybody else, to themselves. They owe that to themselves. A curse is...
Anthony, be clear with your question. Just go right to the question.
I'm asking if you believe that we all have to pay a debt for our wrong.
Well, each individual does, but that's it.
Okay, but what happens when we take the side of other people that have not paid their debt?
You're not supposed to take the sides of anyone at any time for any reason.
Then how am I on Israel's side? How am I on Palestine's side? How am I on white people's side? And how am I on black people's side?
I don't know. Why are you on their side?
I'm not, but I see everybody on your radio station and yourself on somebody's side.
Whose side am I on?
You tend to take white people's side, but not God's side.
How am I taking white people's side?
By not admitting that it's easy to see that black people are doing a lot of wrong, and they're going to get punished for it. But I don't hear you telling our white brethren, and they need it, that hey, if you're doing wrong, there's going to be a curse that comes along with it. Bow down and forgive yourself and run to God.
You don't hear me telling all people, and especially white people, they need to forgive, not hold anger, and speak up.
I do hear you saying that, and I
But
you know,
what do you
I
mean
fully
I don't
agree
say
with
it
you.
there?
Well, it comes across, and I see it coming across to a lot of your viewers. They get angry because it seems like you're taking a side.
But how's that?
It's very intricate. So I'm mixed. So I'm all three races, and when I sit down, I have to literally keep myself in
What are white people doing to the Indians? You mentioned the Indians and whites. What are white people doing to the Indians?
Well, the Indians are probably your real Jews. They've been.
What are
they've
white
had their-
people? What are white people doing to the Indians?
They have, well, pretty much stripped them of their manhood, their rights. They've took their God, their language, their food.
That's not
and
true.
You got them on reservations.
None of those things are true.
It's all true.
No, it's not true at all.
You could say it's not true, but God says it's true. Those people suffer under the hands of these people that are here.
No,
and all
those
they need
people
to do
suffer
is
under the
treat
hands
them
of
right.
evil.
All those people do is need to treat them right. Bring them into the fold. Don't kick them while they're down. Don't steal everything that they have.
Anthony.
Go ahead.
Calm down.
I'm sorry.
The white people have not done anything to the Indians. The Indians have done it to themselves.
Oh no, I agree.
The white people don't owe the Indians anything, and the Indians don't owe the whites anything. The blacks don't owe the whites anything, and the whites don't owe the blacks anything. The Jews don't owe the Palestinians anything, and the Palestinians don't owe the Jews anything.
I agree.
So why are you saying all this stuff there?
Because I've read my Bible, and I realized that if Indians would have stood up as men when the white people came and been honorable, even when they were taking their position, they were supposed to stand like
Anthony,
Indians.
you're all over the place. You're saying that the whites should have done this with the Indian, and that's not true.
I didn't say that they should have did anything. I said they should have treated them with dignity instead of putting their boots on their babies' heads. That's all I'm saying. You should have had a certain amount of dignity to show these people that you were taking their land, even to
How
this day.
come those people didn't show it to themselves?
I believe they did. They died
No,
fighting.
they didn't.
and
They were
called
fighting
them
one
savages.
another.
No. They were fighting people that were stealing their land,
But
just like the Palestinians.
they were fighting other Indians.
Do you expect the Indians to be happy that you're stealing their land?
They were fighting other Indians even before the white man came along.
You expect somebody to take your stuff and you be happy?
Anthony, thank you for your call, buddy. You're all over the place. I don't know what you're talking about. What? Renee is the first. There's a line of. Thank you, Anthony. I can't communicate with you. You're all over the place, but I appreciate you. Renee is the first time. 888-7753-773. We're going to try and get to all the calls if possible. Renee is the first time call out of Arizona. Renee, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
God bless you. Thank you so much, Jesse.
Thank you.
My name is Renee Cranon. And
Don't say your last name, Renee.
Cranon.
Have Renee not to say her last name and give out information about herself. Let me go to Jaime. Jaime, right? Yes. Jaime on 5. Jaime, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Can you hear me, Jesse?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to answer the biblical question.
Have you ever and can you ever solve a non-practical problem by thinking about it?
No, because you know, based on all the stuff that you preaching to us, all thoughts are lies, is true, and based on my experience, I always try to make plans, like doing 5 years plans and 10 years plans, something like that. And when I get them right, or when I make the plan, I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just too much stress, too much worry, too much anxious, too much of condemnation. And I would dare say, vanity comes in too.
So you're saying no, you cannot solve any non-practical problem by thinking about it?
Yeah.
Amazing. I'll put my little 2 cents on Sunday. I appreciate that, Jaime.
And can I ask one quick question?
Yes.
So, I watched your past sermon about interracial marriage,
right?
And I watched it a couple of times, and I want to say that you're right about what you said when one race go married to another race because they have hatred with their parents.
Yep.
And the reason why I say that because that happens to be me because I'm interested with Asian women because it's because I started with my mom and dad, but mainly my mom, I would dare say. And then for some reason, I cannot, I just don't have any that much interest with my own race because I feel like I'm not going to have good communication. I just, I feel like they're not going to be too attracted to me because I'm not just like them. And in my belief, since I'm Mexican, they tend to act crazy in such a way. And I see Asian women, I could be wrong, but I see Asian women like, quiet and not that crazy as the Mexican women. But I realized that, no, this is wrong because I am judging the Mexican women, how they are, and that's not right. So my question is, Jesse, when there's a moment of me dating a woman, will you recommend me start dating Mexican girls instead of any other race because I just don't want to have any hatred in my heart, if you know what I mean, Jesse.
I do. Have you forgiven your mother?
Yeah.
Well, what I recommend is that you just let life happen. And if you date an Asian woman, just date her, treat her the way you treat anyone, meaning be yourself. If you're dating a Mexican or whatever, and don't have any plans to let life happen on its own. And if you end up with an Asian woman now that you've overcome your mother, you'll be fine. But don't have a plan. Just let life happen.
Okay, but it's still okay to have interest in Asian women because for some reason I still do.
Right. Well, it's you're attracted to them because your ego been with them, and it's not really you that is attracted to them. So just watch that, and don't call it yourself, and let it unfold by itself. Whatever meant to be will be.
Okay, there's still continue go with the flow in my life, huh?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, and then also I just want to say that last sermon on Sunday,
yes,
it was deep and amazing.
For real. Yeah, thank you, man. It really, really was. It was an amazing fellowship last week. Check it out, folks, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. It was mind-blowing. Thank you, Jaime. I appreciate it, man.
No problem, Jesse.
Okay. Amazing. Check out rebuildingtheman.com. You can podcast it. Jaime is absolutely right about that. Let's try Renee again. First time caller out of Arizona. Renee, go ahead.
Yes. God bless you, Jesse.
Thank you.
And remember, he's not a goat. He just wants Jesus to find him the one. It doesn't matter what race she comes from. Anyway, I'm a whistleblower, first-time caller. I can prove that Donald Trump spoke the truth about the swamp. It's real and runs Kingman, Arizona, and I can prove it. Anybody can ask me anything. I've been fighting it since the same day as Kyle Rittenhouse, 8/25/2020.
Renee, do me a favor and send the information you have to my producer at JesseLeePeterson.com because I want to see what you have before I let you put it out there. All right? Thank you. Sean has it. Thank you. Super chat. There's one line open, folks.
Super chats.
One line open, 888-775-3773. Let's do some super chats.
Someone bought a coffee. Jesse, if affirmative action was around when you tried to get a government job, why didn't they just let you in because you're black? Regardless of whether or not you passed that civil service exam, You often say that black people are just let into jobs because they're black. Why didn't that work for you?
I don't even know if they had affirmative action there.
Stop with the nonsense, he says.
What are they saying? Affirmative action doesn't exist?
He's saying if affirmative action was around when you tried to get a government job, why didn't they just let you in?
I don't know. I don't know if they had it then or not, and I didn't apply for affirmative action just because it was around. I wasn't raised that way.
Woozy over on...
Thank you, though.
Oh, he said, stop with the nonsense.
Of what?
I don't know. He thinks that you're making nonsense.
About black people and their affirmative action stuff?
I guess so.
You're not clear, because we don't know what that means. You can either call me about it or resend another one. Thank you.
Woozy on Rumble gave a Rumble rant. I like working for the government because I am motivated more by maximizing time off with my wife and kids than making a lot of money. We just go to jobs to make money, right? Why make it your life, he asks.
A government job is a lazy person job. You don't have to do much. You get every holiday off. You can take off when you want. Not much is required at all. It's a lazy man job, lazy man / woman job. So you don't really develop into your full self. But thank you.
Mike AF bought a coffee. Jesse, love the show. Been lurking the past few months. Saw your AFPAC 3 speech. AF stands for America First. And it was awesome. My question is, do you believe in the curse of Ham? I feel like it's real and tangible, especially today.
Do I believe in the curse of Ham? Like Pete?
No, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, the sons of Noah. Ham saw Noah naked and drunk, and Shem and Japheth covered Noah, and Noah woke up and cursed Ham.
I don't think about that. I know what you're talking about now, but I don't really think about it, so I don't quite understand it at this point.
So some blacks think they're descended from Ham.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, the blacks think that they came from Ham.
I guess so.
And they think that that's why they're cursed because of Ham, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Mike Young bought a coffee. Hey Jesse, just imagine if those 15 black thugs were white and one beat up one black kid, then every hateful black person like Tony from California and Maze from Dayton, Ohio would be calling your show, B-wording about it, and he spells it all the way out like you do. And the liberal media would be showing it over the world, Mike Young says. Seems like Jesse tuned me out.
You're right about that, Mike.
Oh.
If it was white beating up on the blacks or killing blacks, it'd be a different story. You can mark my word. That's amazing. And so, hey, what do you think about that thing when it says hatred gone up for the Jews, the blacks, the Asian,
yeah,
and the Muslim and the Asian? Why did they leave out white people?
Because it's acceptable to be hating the whites. And ADL, they got their stats from the ADL, Anti-Defamation League, which is that group that pretends like they're protecting the Jews from hatred. And that's why. And the ADL they promote hatred of whites. They don't count it as a bad thing.
The ADL is a liberal a liberal Jew organization.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do promote hatred.
Yeah. So, I think that's why.
Okay.
That handyman donated a couple of Rumble rants. The Indians lost a war because they tried to kill their own instead of working together. They're lucky even to have reservations. They could have been killed off. So, Anthony, give your stolen land back then. Indians didn't even use horses until the white man got here.
I was saying the Indians were doing was sitting around smoking pot. And they called it peyote. But it was pot. They were high. They weren't doing anything with the land. They didn't own the land. What's her son said all ADL thinks all whites. No, and ADL think all whites are Nazi.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I don't know if they think all whites are Nazis, but they definitely say if you think that if you say it's okay to be white, that's racist.
Speaking of the Jews,
yeah,
I saw a report this morning where they had a little rally up in D.C., I guess yesterday?
Yeah.
Or the day before?
Yesterday.
And then there were a busload of Jews coming from Michigan, I think, Detroit or somewhere, trying to get to Washington.
Uh-huh.
And they're supposed to fly into some point, and the bus is supposed to pick them up and take them over to the Jew rally.
Uh-huh.
And the drivers saw that they were Jews and refused to take them.
Wow.
And so they got stuck at the airport, and they held a little rally at the airport because they couldn't make it over to D.C.
Well, good for them, I guess.
And they have been hired. The drivers have been hired to drive them over there, but some of them said, no, we're not going to participate.
Interesting. What a mess.
What a mess.
Talk about dysfunctional country.
I know. I want my country back. Want me to show you a beta?
Sure.
A real beta?
Yeah.
Hassan, play The View. And then I'll tell you what it is after we play it. Near the bottom of the hour.
Wait, this is a clip?
Uh-huh. From The View. I don't want to tell the people what it is. I just want them to see the beta first, and then I'll tell them. This is a real beta. Beta, beta, beta. 3C.
Yeah.
He asked me at the end of the documentary, who do you think you are? Are you a writer, you producer, a director? And I said, I'm Tyler Perry, Maxine's baby. I'm my mother's son.
Baby.
Yeah. That's what's most important to me. And when I'm walking around or whatever I'm doing, I'm carrying her in my spirit.
It was so well done.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Really,
I'm very proud of them. They did a great job.
when I met Maxine through all of it, I didn't know her.
Yeah.
But it shows just how much you endured as a child. You
Okay, wait a minute. That one took me, but you met,
Yeah.
To say that you met her through that, it takes me somewhere because she, this woman endured so much pain.
Yeah.
And she didn't have some legacy, but she had me. And to say that I was able to introduce her to you, you got me there, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. You met my mother through the. You really got me there. I'm sorry. I just imagine a woman who's lived her entire life with so much pain.
Yeah.
And she was always worried about everybody else. And I think I watched her get sick. I watched her get cancer. I watched her have all of these things because her intention was, are you happy? Are you okay? She never put herself on the list.
We are blessed with our mothers.
That's right. That's right.
We are
That's
blessed
right.
with our mothers.
You cursed with your mama, dummy. I can't find my baby. Opa. Remember he couldn't find his baby?
His boy?
His boy. That was from the New York Post. Tyler Perry broke down in tears during an appearance on The View after co-host Sarah Hines complimented his documentary. Maxine's baby, his mama named Maxine, who dives into his traumatic childhood. And his mother, Maxine, not the Wicked Witch of the West, but the same spirit. I'm saying that part. Maxine, unwavering love. Mama ain't got no love, Tyler Perry. Cut out the mess. Tyler Perry is such a beta.
Terrible. That's definitely a beta.
Oh, wait.
Embarrassing.
Oh, no, I can't handle that. You say you saw my mama? You met my mama through the... Oh! And the women rubbing him on the back. Just loving that emotional crap. Evil. Yes.
That's about all, guys. Appreciate the support.
We got to all of them?
Pretty much.
Nice. Thank you all. Oh, amazing. The Hake report is coming up now. I appreciate it. Get on that straight and narrow path. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. And we've done all you can do to stay there, some more. Let me do my Trump.
You better go talk to your mama, better stop at the drama, better drop all the
Is that Trump?
Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose, and then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa.
Oh, Hake has a guest.
Yep.
He's talking to a female.
Stardust.
We're going to see who's going to win this debate. If you cower down, I'm going to call you beta.
Whatever.
Everybody's going to be watching. Hake about to debate with a woman. a female. We'll see how this goes. Coming up now. You don't want to miss it. We'll see if Hake is alpha or beta. Now you're on it. You gotta shine.
Whatever.
What is it gonna be? Oh Lord. Oh.
All right, gotta go.
Bye. So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at.